Bueno, a continuación recibimos al profesor Carlos Sánchez Cáceres, quien es egresado de la carrera de Pedagogía en Lengua y Cultura Inglesas. También es licenciado en Ciencias de la Educación con mención inglés para propósitos específicos. Y actualmente se desarrolla como profesor en el Instituto de Inglés Full House y en el Instituto Chileno Británico de Cultura. También es examinador del Grupo Educativo Inglesa. Y hoy nos va a presentar su trabajo titulado The Use of QR Codes in the EFL Classroom. Y le damos una cordial bienvenida.
Thanks for the presentation. And okay, good afternoon everybody, thank you for being here, and this is the lecture, my lecture, about the use of QR codes in the EFL classroom. For this presentation, I'm going to show you how you can relate, how can you bring technology, and a simple technology that everybody can use to the classroom, and not only strengthen the learning process, but also make your lessons more attractive. Nowadays, as teachers, we do new activities in order to perform it in our lessons. And technology has become an important tool for that, in many ways, for our classroom. QR codes stand for quick response codes, and they can be used in many ways in our lessons, as the one that I'm going to show you later. And finally, they can provide access to different types of files, documents, video, pictures, and websites. To create a QR code is a very simple process. First, if you're going to create a QR code that just contains a website link, you just will need to copy that link, or for example, a video on YouTube, the link of that video, and copy it in the QR code generator. Luckily, the QR code generators available on the internet are mostly free, so that's an advantage for our lessons and for our practice. On the other hand, if you want to create a QR code that redirects you to a document, pictures, video, or any file that can be stored, you will need to create a virtual cloud. You upload your documents or any files that you want to show to your students, and then you extract the link and you do the same process as you did earlier. For example, every document or any file in your virtual cloud will generate a link. That link you copy and paste it in the QR code generator. The same thing with voice recorder. You can ask students to record their own voices. It can be on internet or in a voice recorder in their mobile phones. So there are a lot of opportunities and options to produce a QR code and create new activities. And now I'm going to show you a brief practice and a brief example about how can you create a QR code and how can you use them in your lessons. For example, in this case, we're going to practice collocations. This activity that I'm going to present you now is about how to practice the collocation in questions. In this case, about present simple. So I'm going to ask some people that can come at the front, please. So they are going to help me, and I'm going to show you. this activity, you will require first a mobile phone with internet connection, and obviously QR code scanner. So you can ask some students to work in groups, and for example, we're going to put it. Okay, there is the link. Jesus Christ. So, while we wait, this is going to show you what the QR code contains. So, you will be practicing ordering without the classical exercise that when you write down in a handout, please order the words. So, you will ask your students to function as word. You will, for example, you will have more students than now, but you will ask them to move the students in order to find the word. In this case, the word is music. In this case, you will find some tip or some clue about what is hiding this QR code. In this case, we have a question. So now we come back to the QR code scanner. Another link. Listen to is the next word. The next word. So let's go to the next word, QR code. You have the subject you. This is the last one. So the question is, do you like music? And in terms of time, I didn't want to delay this activity, but some words aren't colored in red. So, in addition, you can show them that there are different words in a question. We have auxiliary verbs and a main verb. So, this is a huge exercise that you can take advantage about. And using technology, something very close to our students, and most of the time forbidden at school because they can't use technology, they can use the mobile phones. They are like too far in relation to the English lesson in this case. So. So, in the next part, as we all know as teachers, our practice is not all about creating activities because our practice is not just activism. All activities must be submitted to a learning theory. In this case, English theories. We have a lot of methodologies and new ways to create new activities. So, in this case, I'm going to use learning theory proposed by Peter Jarvis, which establishes a relationship between life or experience and the person. For example, in this case, you are establishing a relationship between the world life experiences, in this case, the technology, the use of a QR code, something very common for our students, and the person who takes for granted the world. In this case, takes for granted our lessons. They know, our students know what we are going to do, what we are going to say, and what they are going to do. In this case, they're going to change the order of lesson. They are not going to be seated they're going to be sat in the desk, and you are not going to be talking all the time. They are going to perform. In this case, we have in the first step the person. The person or the people in this case are our students. And then we have the second step, a situation and experience. The situation is the classroom, and the experience is something new. When we provoke something new, we are provoking this juncture. This juncture is the gap between what the students know and something new, something that is very different from them, and they have to adjust in order to understand it. Then we go to practice. Once you have set the situation and experience, in this case the use of QR code to practice, collocation, and not a classical exercise, we are provoking a new experience, and that new experience needs to be practiced. And practice is the most important thing, because they perform, and that is the only way to learn. Then we have evaluation. When our student wants to have practice, they show what they have learned. They give evidence about what they have learned. And then we have the memorization, but I would like to remind you that memorization is, we are going to understand memorization here as a different process of the memorization or acquisition of a new process of a procedure. So we are not talking about the classical concept of memorization. And then we have regional reflecting. There is a concept related to how the students feel about the activity, how the students feel, and if they decide to add this information and this new experience to their personal biography. And this personal biography is going to provoke memorable learning of. And if they decide that this activity or this learning process was memorable and meaningful, they're going to be a changed and more experienced person, because they learn something new, something that they probably had no idea how this can be related to the learning of a second language, in this case English. And they are a more experienced people. That was my presentation for you. Thank you very much for your attention.
¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta?
I found very interesting that you can use the QR code to link some videos, some YouTube videos. I want to know which will be like the recommendation, because I think that if you have a paper, a document that tells you about, for example, vowels, and you have the writing that speaks all about vowels, and then you get the QR code at one side, and then that leads you to a page that tells you that shows you by listening the difference between this vowel and this other. That makes it more friendly, so it's not so boring to read all the documents and nothing else. You have the QR code to link an example of that. What else can you use it?
Well, as we all must know, technology must be introduced to our lessons as soon as possible. We have to redesign many activities that are very boring for our students, because we have to make our students at the end of everything, at the end of the day, need to perform, and that's the only way of learning. And as a QR code and the use of QR codes for our lessons might be used in many different ways. For example, you can create notes for our students, congratulations notes, and you can send even their homework to their homeworks to contain in a QR code. For example, you can ask them to read a website, and the website is going to be in the QR code. And I don't know, it has many possibilities. The only thing that you need to have is an internet connection. Is there any other ways? Any other question?
What about the actual activity? You said that
collocation.
With collocation. And how does that work? Because basically what you do is you show how you scan and then you go to the link. But how would the actual activity work? You get groups of people and then you ask them the codes.
Yes, the idea of the activity is to ask the student to work in groups, and you give some a set of QR codes to the people, and when a student is in charge to scan another the QR codes on the question or the sentence that they contain. And for example, the activity is the person who scans the QR codes he or she has to move students in order to form the question. So they are not just standing like here. They have to move their classmates, and they are, for example, they can be at the front of the lesson, in front of the classroom.
Right, and then that person goes
Scanning and moving the classmate in order to form the question. Not only to moving the QR codes from one person to another, but also they have to move their classmates. So, for example, you can say, please go to the front, go to the middle, go to the bottom of the sentence. So there's a new experience, a new experience that triggered learning.
I think that the method that I'm trying to solve this is to catch the attention of the student, right? And I think that the strategy will work very good, considering that it is something new for the students. But if we use this too much, I think that it may be not that interesting after trying several times. So, how much time do you think that it may be used in a period, or how frequent it can be to work?
Okay. It's a very good question. Obviously, if we practice a lot of, if we do an activity several times, the student isn't going to get bored because they know what they have to do. So there's not something there's nothing new in that. And the thing is that if you can practice QR codes using, for example, at the beginning of the lessons as a warm-up, or at the end of the lesson as an evaluation. So it's a good time to practice, but this is just one part of the lesson, or one part of the process. You will have to use QR codes or any piece of technology for in different purposes. So QR codes, I think that they cannot be used several times because students they're going to know what to do. So that's the magic. It's lost. Any other question?
Entonces, le damos las gracias a nuestro expositor.